Hey, what's up, you guys? Okay, really quick before the podcast starts, I just want to remind you that you can also watch the podcast, not just listen to it. Don't they need to see this?
They need to see how fat we're both getting.
Yes, you do. And if you want to see us, you need full screen. And if you're an eligible AT&T wireless customer, you can stream us for a year at no extra cost. So just go to fullscreen.com/AT&T for details. Enjoy the show. Guys. Where do we start? Because there's a lot to talk about. First of all, you've been hiding a secret.
I have.
Wait, we need coming. Oh, fuck.
Oh, shut.
We need coming out music.
Oh, because it's so sad when I come out. I've been having the secret and holding it in for a very
Tell us
long
what
time.
your secret over the last year that you've been keeping. Give us hints.
Oh, you want hints?
Yeah, let's make a game out of it.
Okay. Well, by the time this show comes out, the secret's probably going to be out anyway.
Oh, shit.
But that's okay. Basically, I have been going on a musical adventure this year. If you would want to know what kind of adventure it is, you can guess.
Okay, question.
Yeah.
Like, let's play a game with it.
Okay. I'll tell you how it started.
Okay.
It started out by bringing it up on this podcast about a potential something to do for this podcast.
Okay.
I love that we're playing this game like you don't know what it is.
Were you on The Biggest Loser?
Should have been. But I didn't meet the weight requirements.
Really?
I know.
You were too big?
Too big. They were like, sorry, bitch, that's a lot of work.
Were you on My 600-Pound Life?
Not yet.
Didn't That's the next big.
Next.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Were you
How do you
on
even know I
the
was
news?
on something? Yes, but not for this reason.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, guys, I already know what she did. You were on World's Cheapest People.
Hey.
Where they drink their own pee.
I'm not cheap because I have to be. No, wait. I'm not cheap because I want to be. I'm cheap because I have to be.
Wow, great. Put that on merch.
Right?
Okay.
Merch coming soon.
You were on The Voice.
Basically, I auditioned for The Voice, and it was an experience.
And you could not talk about it which, by the way, I'd be like, oh, so what'd you do this week? And you'd be like, and then you'd have to make something up because.
Right. Like for a minute. Because it's a long process that you go through. And honestly, I'm still not sure how much I'm allowed to talk about. Like, I don't think I'm allowed to talk about like super inner workings of it.
Right. Well, whenever I ask a question that you can't answer, just give us like a hello. Okay, so here's my first question.
Yeah.
What song did you audition with, like the first round?
Ooh, I'm pretty sure maybe I could talk about that stuff.
Because the way it works that people might not know is it's not like you walk in and there's like, I don't know who's on, Jay-Z. I don't know who's on The Voice.
It's like Alicia and Gwen and Adam and Blake.
Right. Okay.
That's
so,
the
it's not like you walk in, like you go to Coffee Bean and you're like, oh, got to audition. And you walk in and they're there.
No, you don't roll up first day. There is a definite process. And I probably can't get into too many details, but the first audition process was like, I wanted to go to the cattle call and talk to people in line. Right. That's how this all started of like, who are you? What do you do? Why are you putting your life on the line for this kind of like a chance thing? And then through chance, I was able to get an interview and all of a sudden it became real. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll just show up and sing. And I rolled up with my Pinot Grigio in a to-go coffee cup, trying to like bring my barrel life, karaoke life back to it.
Right.
And I rolled up hella confident and just like ready to rock. And
what'd you sing?
First song out the bat, I sang Lauryn Hill Doo-Wop.
I don't know that one.
Like, guys, you better watch out. And rapped.
Interesting.
Straight up rapped. So like,
choice.
Well, it's like my comfort zone. Like as much as like I can sing, I'm not a musician. I don't think of myself as like I'm going on tour this month and like I'm making so many songs and stuff.
Right.
So like I knew I could like sing. So I just like rolled up with like my karaoke set.
Right. Okay. So you got through that.
So I got through that and then they were like, not super, like a little buzz.
Okay.
But they were, and like, of course, I'm just like sparkling, just talking. And they're like, girl, save that for the interview part, like whatever. And so like after I sang one song, they're like, great, we want to hear another. Cool. So then I sang like a Bruno Mars jam. They're like, cool, let me hear another one. And then like, all right. So I sang a third song for them. And then they're like, great, we want another one.
And you were like, God made a mistake.
Straight up. Like, do-do-do-do-do. But I wound up singing a bunch of songs, which was like kind of just crazy in the get-go because I was just like expecting them to be like, okay, thanks, bye. You know what I mean? But then like nailed it and then had to go to like an interview part of it. And like.
Did they make you cry?
No, not at that point. There were some points though, just because like the process itself was very taxing, long hours. Like it was a very interesting process. And so by the end of it, it was just like, they're like, why are you getting emotional right now? I was like, because I haven't seen my therapist in 3 weeks and I just started my period.
Wait, are you allowed to talk about like the living situation?
I don't necessarily.
Hello.
Exactly. Hello. I don't think so, at least until like I'm out of my contract, which I'm not yet. Like I have to wait like a few months until like I'm sure I can spill all the beans. But I will say that I met some really dope people. And like, I am so thankful for the people and connections that I made. And it's so cool. Like, I don't know, just I've made lifelong friends. Like someone was going to the Grammys because they were nominated. She stayed at my apartment, you know, like, and it, like after the fact to see her, like.
Wait, somebody was nominated. Wait, what?
Yeah, actually a friend of mine that didn't even get a chance to audition.
Wait, she was nominated for a Grammy?
Yeah, it was like a Best New Artist. Obviously, it went to Chance the Rapper, but.
Wait.
There's like a bunch of people that get nominated for the Grammys.
Wait, I'm so confused. So somebody that was nominated for Best New Artist auditioned for The Voice and didn't get it?
Well, she got like on the process, but the teams were filled before she had a chance to go.
Wait, what's her name?
Grace Love.
And she was nominated for a Grammy?
Uh-huh.
Like she was at the Grammys?
Yeah.
And they showed her face?
No, she was in like the nosebleeds.
Wait, but how was she nominated?
Because I guess there's like 20-something people that are nominated for these categories, and then from there they get voted down to like the 5 to see on TV.
Okay. So she was like in the big. Okay,
right,
got it.
right.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Can we get a Grammy?
I know, right? I'm like, okay, girl. But you know, it was the most fun like aspect. Like the show was great. Like I'll explain more along the way as we keep going and more airs, because as it airs, I'm allowed to talk more about it. Right. But I will say that like the whole process before it, there are these super fans out there that, I'm obsessed. And I became obsessed with it. I found these like forum websites where people like chat and like cross-reference and like shout out to Idol Forums. Hey guys, I've been the one trolling you the whole time. Woo woo. But basically they based on this one's Instagram and this one follows this one on Twitter and this one was in LA at this time. Like they do a whole analysis and cross benefit of the potential contestants of this season.
I wish I cared that much about anything.
I know, right?
Please.
Straight A's in all your classes. But yeah, and it was just so.
Did they guess you?
Well, they weren't guessing me enough, so I like started.
Oh no! That's gonna get you in trouble,
right? No.
You were going on there under like a fake name.
No,
like
I didn't.
My 600-pound life.
No, right? I didn't do a fake name. I didn't like enter anything like that. I was just basing my activities on them.
I was looking at Jessica Buttafuoco's Instagram, and
what I had heard was, what I started doing was the people that they were kind of talking about that I knew.
You were like, nah, they lost.
Well, no, I was more active with them on their social medias, so they would see me interacting with them, and then they're like, and straight up 2 days later at work, they were like, I don't know if this is like a trick or something, but this person's connected with this person. Maybe she's a social media correspondent.
A trick. They caught on. They're like, this bitch is scamming us.
Straight up. They're like, because she only has like one like music video and she doesn't seem like that good of a singer. So maybe like they hired her as a social media correspondent or something.
Or like
all this kind of shit.
That is so funny.
Yeah, legit.
And then you like put out a cover.
Yeah. Like
you're like, hey guys, here's my cover. And you do like Adele. And then they're like, yeah, I think that was a joke.
Yeah. It's like legit. And they've been like doing that and all that crazy stuff. So that was kind of cool.
So now we're giving them like information.
Yeah.
We should have the leader of that website on our show.
We could, because they do it with all the shows. So you think you could dance, America's Got Talent, like it's like thread among thread among thread.
That is so interesting that anybody cares about, like, yeah, I'm your friend, so I care, but like cares about all of that.
Right?
Like, I've never cared about anything like that. Except for like That's So Raven or like Lizzie McGuire. But even then, I'm not like going online being like, okay, who was an extra in Lizzie McGuire? Actually, yes, I would.
Yeah, I mean, but people, you totally
and I would become friends with them.
And get them on the podcast.
100%.
Damn straight. But you know what? It was like super cool. Like my interview afterwards, I really shined. Like after I did my thing, and once it airs, we can talk more backstory about it. Right. But I just thought the whole process was cool, and I'm proud of myself for doing it. Because I'm an old ass woman, 33, about to turn 34 in 1 month.
I feel like you've been 33 for a few years, right?
I'm not the one that hides my age like you do. Like, I speak truth.
I literally the other day, somebody asked me how old I am, and I said 29, and then somebody was like, "No, you're not." Like I literally don't know how old.
How old are you?
I think I'm 28.
Huh?
I don't know. I was born 88, so I'm back.
88, 98, 2008. You're almost 30.
I'm almost. Oh man.
You're 29. When's your birthday?
I'm 28, July 19th, 1988.
So you'll be 29
I'll be 29 in July. And it's so weird. I've been saying I'm almost 30 for my whole YouTube career. So career, that's funny. So I'm just like, finally, like, let me turn 30. So I can just
when you turn 30, baby, all of your troubles are going to go away. You're not going to have your fat complex anymore. You're going to find who you are and you're going to live your life. Yes.
Am I?
Yes. I will tell you this because and one of the wardrobe fittings, one of the very first ones of The Voice, this is how I knew I really stopped giving fucks. Because like with my body image issues and all that shit, they're like, all right, go try this on. And I just dropped my pants in the room of like 20 people because I don't give fucks. And they're like, oh no, honey, like, the changing room's right over there. And I was like, oh, my bad. Click, clack, click, clack. I did that. Fucks.
I did that here when we were doing that awful photo shoot for Full Screen. Wait.
Hello. Cheesecake Factory photo shoot?
Oh my God, guys, it's the worst. I don't even think those pictures are out there anymore. But they dressed us up like cult leaders in all white. It was awful. And we were like taking pictures with all the other like Full Screen whatevers. And I went to this room like to get my wardrobe. And first of all, it was just like racks of just awful white cult clothes.
And a little sweaty too. I don't think there was AC going.
And then there was like other Full Screen people in there. And like, let me just keep it real with this point. I think all of us Full Screen family members are on the same physical level.
Okay.
You know, like none of us are killing it in that department. Like we're all like killing it while holding a loaf of bread. You know what I'm saying?
Because I like bread.
Love bread. So I walk in and I see like I see 2 guys and 2 girls and all of us are puffy and we're like looking at each other like, bitch, this ain't gonna work.
Like all white.
First of all white. Second of all, no dressing room, nowhere to change. We're gonna change in front of each other. So I think we all, without even saying it, made a pact to not look. So like we all got our white robes.
You got a robe?
This is like a cult, like a day in the life.
I didn't even
we all
get
got
a
our
robe.
white robes. And we all like made eye contact and then we all like turned around, faced other like corners of the room, slowly took off our clothes.
I think I went like in and behind a rack of clothes. Like I caught a
glimpse. I caught a glimpse and I saw 2 different people wearing full body Spanx and I was like, fucking me. That killing it.
That's it.
So then we like put it on as fast as we can. Then we all turned around, looked at each other and we all just made like a visual like, fuck. It was awful. I don't know where this story was going, but it was really bad. We all felt
wardrobe
really bad
department not giving no fucks anymore.
No fucks.
Yeah, you can't, you know? So,
but that's why I like the internet because nobody on the internet's killing it, like physically. Like we all are kind of like a little puffy. Because why? Because if you're on the internet, like you're controlling the camera angles, you're controlling the lighting, you're doing everything, and you're at home all the time editing and eating Cheetos. Like obviously, we're all like kind of puffy.
Yeah, I saw one really skinny girl walking down the street the other day, and my first brain was like, "Ooh, girl, you need to eat," and then my second one was like, "She's trying to be a model," and then I got in like a super deep dark hole of like, "Well, fuck this industry and why we have to be 2 fucking pounds to be successful." And if someone now were to be like, "Yes, we want you, but like you have to lose 20 pounds." Part of me would be like, A, how much are you paying me to do that?
Right,
and B, fuck you.
Right.
So I got meat on my bones because I'm happy or I'm sad. I eat.
Well, it is interesting. I feel like there is a shift because I feel like the stars from when I was a kid were like really skinny girls on TV.
Yeah.
And now like the stars to teenagers are like YouTubers and YouTubers are puffy. And I like that.
I like that.
I mean, there are a few super fit YouTubers.
Eugenia Cooney is not puffy. I will tell you that right now.
Yeah, she ain't, she like on our level, like she's not killing with
we might have triggered her with that one, actually, to be honest. You better watch out. You better watch out.
I love her.
If you are Eugenia Cooney, you might want to mute this next part of this segment, girl.
No, she's definitely like not in the puffy category at all.
No.
There's a few that aren't. There are a couple like guys who are super buff, but they'll be gone.
Bye.
Because they're not funny. They'll be gone. But like the funny ones are puffy.
We're hilarious.
By the way, I just need to clear something up. So, some drama occurred. I didn't bring you into this, but some drama occurred.
With who?
Well, let me explain.
Hello. Am I still gonna have a job after this?
You'll be fine. Okay, so we had on D Fizzy on the podcast. You never remember anybody, but
I remember he was like your doppelganger. He looked like your
young
son.
boy. Yes. Okay, he was great. So he was on the podcast. I guess he has a lot of issues with his skin or acne or something. I don't know. I don't care. I don't keep up.
Yeah.
So like he's a cute kid. I don't know why he cares. Okay. Anyways, love him. So he's on the podcast. He leaves. We put up, so as you guys might not know, we film these kind of out of order. We kind of post them later. So we did a podcast with, I think it was Patrick Starr, and we filmed that like months ago. Mm-hmm. But we put up Patrick Starr's right after D Fizzy's, even though we filmed it months ago, right? Yeah. So in the Patrick Starr episode, we were interviewing our makeup girl, and I made a joke, or me and you made a joke, basically being like, like how bad is our skin? Like how intense is the makeup process for us? Yeah. And then I started laughing and then you said, what? And I said, I was going to make a joke about a previous guest, but I won't. And we both made eye contact, laughed, and moved on, right? Okay, people thought we were talking about DeFizzy because he has skin issues. They thought like because the show aired before Patrick's, right?
Oh, I see.
So people thought that whatever.
He didn't have skin issues.
I mean, I didn't think so either. But
you put his hair back in a ponytail and his face looked flawless.
Yeah, it was fine. Killing it. Anyways, so his audience like went on Twitter and like Shane was dragging you. He said like, you know, you had bad skin, whatever. He I guess sees it. I guess like thinks it's true. He gets all sad. Goes on like whatever.
Fuck you, DeFizzy. Grow some balls.
Well, wait. I don't know if he actually got sad. I know people said he was sad, but maybe whatever. So then I like text him and I'm like, wait. Like, what the fuck? Like, we weren't talking about you. We were talking about somebody else. Like, what are you talking about?
I don't even know who we were talking about.
Oh, well, I'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
I was like, we were talking about somebody else. Like, we weren't, whatever. He didn't respond. And I started panicking. I'm like, oh my God, this kid.
I'm sure you did.
He's young. He's freaking out. Like, he probably thinks I hate him. I hate when people think I hate them. I hate drama. So I'm like texting him nonstop. Like 5 hours later, he's like, oh, sorry, I was having a nap. He's like, no, it's fine. I didn't think you were talking about me. Everything's fine. I was like, girl! Your little fizzy family is dragging me, bitch.
Your fizzy fam.
And I didn't say
fizzy
shit about
fam.
you. And then people were, so then I was like, guys, I wasn't talking about him, whatever. And so then his fizzy family were like, okay, but you were still making fun of somebody's skin, you fucking triggering asshole. So let me explain what we were doing.
Are you serious, fizzy fam?
Not that I should have to explain this, because listen, I hate having to like, I hate this society right now where like everything you say, people say like, you racist, you're offensive, you're this, you're fat shaming, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure we'll get in trouble for Eugenia Cooney or Puffy or this or that. Who cares?
Probably, but bitch ain't Puffy.
She ain't Puffy.
She's not Puffy.
She was great. Let's call her.
Girl,
you think you're Puffy?
From 1 to Puffy, where would you fit on that scale? She's like -4.
Okay, so here's what we were talking about, and I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to get
trouble. Do it.
Okay.
Who cares?
What had happened was we had Janice Dickinson on the show, who is a fucking icon and a true queen.
Right.
But she literally, because she's so iconic, was very picky in the makeup department and took like 4 hours to get ready.
She told me that I needed more time to get ready.
When you walked down the hallway, she looked at you and she's like, bitch, have you been in makeup yet? And you were like, yeah. And she's like, go back in.
Yeah, like legit.
Which, by the way, is everything. And we love that.
Yeah,
that happened right before Patrick's episode, so we were still like laughing about it, and Janice would laugh about it with us.
Absolutely.
So we weren't making fun of like some sad poor kid with acne. We weren't making fun of a fat girl. We were literally making fun of a woman who made fun of herself for the same thing. So everybody, calm the fuck down.
So listen, fizzy fam, calm the fuck down.
No, listen, guys. We're not here to make fun of people's appearance. We hate ourselves enough. Like, we don't need to make fun of other people's appearances.
No, and if we do, get over it.
But it's a comedy podcast, and if we say something that sounds offensive or whatever, like, deal with it, move on.
That's life, my friends. You're gonna have to figure it out
because we fucking talk a lot.
Yeah, and honestly, like, people need to grow some skin. Like, the amount of sensitive assholes out there that I'm triggered and I'm this, and like the social warriors, like, I love you guys, keep doing your thing, but maybe you could spend that energy doing something good for people rather than just complaining about your fucking life.
You know what I heard that was interesting? Because the whole social warrior thing is interesting because I agree with a lot of what they say, and some of them listen to our show. So it's like we have like this interesting audience of like people who are, you know, crazy, people who are social justice, people who are, when I said crazy, I meant like offensive.
No, we probably have crazy people listening
that too. But what's interesting is
crazy.
I feel like our audience, most of our audience is like pretty good about getting along. Like, for example, we had Blair White on, and she's trans. She's like very, she's like, I guess you'd say conservative. I don't know. Some of her views, like on Black Lives Matter and all these things, on trans rights, all that stuff.
She has interesting points.
Interesting points of views, right? We had her on the show, and some people got mad. And then one of our audience members, her name was Indigo. She like started a whole petition, like, get me on the show. I want to debate with Blair because I disagree with all these things she's saying. Because Indigo's trans. She's like, I want to debate with Blair, whatever. And Blair was like, bitch, come on my show. So then they had a debate on Blair's channel, and it was great. It was interesting. It was great. Nobody fought. Nobody dragged. There was no wigs snatched. It was, I mean, I guess that's boring.
Right.
But it was great. And I was like, that's what I like.
Yeah.
I like a soft drag.
Mm-hmm.
I like a good conversation.
Yeah, an appropriate amount of draggage.
Right.
But a conversation, and that's it. And that people do not always agree. Right. And you have to be able to communicate or agree to disagree, or at least not, you know, throw a fat joke at somebody if you have nothing smarter to say in return. You know, like, I hate when people are like, Gally, you're fat.
Speaking of us not making fun of people, by By the way, I love that people drag us for like doing one joke about like Janice Dickinson or whatever, but like we fucking rip into Farrah and nobody says anything. Nope. They're like, you guys are so mean. By the way, did you see Farrah's awful new music video? Like,
right. Like people like forward us information. Like Farrah Abraham time, hashtag.
Okay, what do we got?
So we were talking earlier about your mom and how you pay for things, you get her Ubers, you are very nice to her. Well, Sophia must be learning from you. Baby Sophia treated her mother to some gifts. Now, this was from Valentine's Day, but to be honest, Farrah's going a little slow in the ratings right now. But Farrah tweeted this out. Crazy when Sophia Abraham 7 now ordering Valentine's Day gifts for me on Siri on her Mac and checking out through PayPal. So the bitch just orders whatever she wants. Because PayPal's hooked up, Siri's hooked up. Like this poor child.
So funny. And the picture, it's like this table filled with gifts.
Just
more gifts than anybody's ever gotten on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
That is so fucking funny.
But I just think it's so crazy that a 7-year-old is in charge of a PayPal account and shit.
Can we talk about the fact that on this picture, it says like, the tagged people?
Yeah.
And tagged is Farrah. Okay.
Okay.
Sophia. Okay. There's another Sophia. There's Sophia Abraham and Sophia Laurent.
That's her clothing
line. And then
line.
there's 5 others that are tagged. Who else is tagged in this?
Well, Sophia Laurent is baby Sophia's store.
She's like split.
Yeah.
There's
that's
like
her
7
store.
Sophias.
Yeah, I wonder who the 5 others are. Sophia Laurent. That's her new store.
Farrah Abraham could have starred in Split, and that would have made it even better.
Right?
Like, oh my God, we need to have Farrah come to our show because she wants to act. Like, that's her dream. We should have her come to the show.
But I thought her teenage dream ended.
How old is she?
50.
We need to have her on the show, and we should direct her. Like, let's have an acting session with Farrah.
Oh my God.
Fuck
okay.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that.
Apparently, when she came in to do our Christmas video, she was very great. Professional and knew her lines.
Listen, I'm a Farrah fan. I know we drag.
Listen,
but it's a loving drag.
It's a love-hate relationship with Farrah. I think Farrah's one of those people that recognize any publicity is good publicity,
right?
And she knows that it comes from the heart with us.
It really does. Well, guys, speaking of all of our issues and how much we're getting fat and hate our lives, we are going to take a break. When we come back, we have Jillian Michales.
Yes!
Who, by the way, is fucking iconic and also terrifying. I'm very nervous. This is the first time I've ever been this nervous for a show.
Really?
Because she's so intense, but she's also nice, but also you can see the danger in her eyes. Like she'll snap. You eat a cookie, she'll snap. So I'm ready. I'm nervous.
There's no gym equipment anywhere. So
I think she's still going to work you out.
Me?
I can't work out. My leg is broken.
No, maybe she can give you some tips on how not to be fat when your leg is broken.
Honestly, I have that written down. Guys, we're going to take a break when we come back. Jillian Michales, see you soon. Oh my God. Fucking queen. Jillian Michales.
That's me.
Icon. My nightmare, but also my dream.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Can I just say we have herstory. And you don't even know this.
I don't.
I met you.
When?
Years ago.
Was I an asshole?
No, you were great.
Oh, thank God.
Hilarious.
I thought you were going to be, you were such an asshole.
No, okay, so before.
God, I hope I wasn't an asshole.
Before you two, I was 400 pounds and also a security guard.
That's
a lot to take in.
Okay, I like it.
But there you go. Okay. Didn't have a gun. My boobs were my weapon. So I was working at the Long Beach Aquarium protecting the octopus because people like to lick them and get high.
What? Wait, shut up.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
No.
Oh, I need to get one of those.
Right?
Oh my God.
Just
all natural high octopus
I was like, wait a second. Are you serious?
I don't know if it's all natural. I know that I had to guard it because kids would come after school and try to jump in the tank and lick it and to get high. Yeah.
Oh.
I only had to stop it once, but one time I let it go because I wanted to see it happen.
I wanted to see it happen. Did you get high?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't do it.
You let a kid do it?
I was too scared of drugs.
You're too fat to get high probably too.
Oh my God, Too Fat to Get High, my new book.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So...
Yeah.
Okay, so you were
a lot of drugs.
That's a really good
spatial differentiation.
I'm constantly looking for an autobiography title. That's a solid one.
Too Fat to Get High.
Mine is I have never seen this before. That's the story of my life.
I like it.
So much shit goes wrong.
I love that.
And that's what people say to me. Oh my God, I've never seen this before. I'm like, let me guess. You've never seen this before, but I like Too Fat to Get High.
All right.
Great.
That's good.
Nice.
Oh, sorry. We digress. So you were at the
I'm at the aquarium. And they're like, oh, you need to, we're going to move you over to some woman's fucking convention or something. Maria Shriver, is that her name?
Uh-huh.
Is speaking, right? Years ago.
Is that her name?
And then she's there. She's a queen. She's scary.
Why are you freaking
And then
out?
I look over.
Because she's like, some woman's came at Maria Shriver. Is that her name? I'm like, oh my God.
Arnold's wife. Not anymore. He fucked up.
He did.
He fucked the
up.
nurse.
He did.
Not the
He
nurse.
did.
He fucked,
Nanny.
like the housekeeper. Or
The
something.
housekeeper.
Okay.
Mhm.
So then you're there, right? And so I'm like not looking at any other celebrities. I'm just looking at you because you're like over there. Biggest Loser was my everything. It was a huge part of the reason I lost weight. And I'm just making eyes with you. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to talk to this bitch. I'm going to go I'm going to talk to her. I got to talk to her. And then you're just like moving. And then it's closing time. And I'm like helping move things around. And you're still there because like you're still talking to fans. You are still working it. Everybody's gone. You're still there.
I was
And
still
I'm like,
there.
I'm
Oh.
like, okay, I got to like go up to her.
Uh-oh.
And I went up to you
Oh.
and I literally froze. And I was just like, and you literally grabbed my shoulders and you went, and you like nodded and smiled and you said, I know. And then you gave me a hug and I said, I don't, and you're
Did
like,
that happen?
yeah,
That
really
swear to God.
Shut up.
I swear
That's
to God.
hilarious.
I was like,
I
I
swear
hope
to
I
God.
wasn't an
And then
asshole.
somebody else was like, okay, she needs to go. And you're like, shut up. It's fine. I got this. Like, shut up. And then you gave me a hug and you were just like, you're great. And I'm like, you're great. And then you left. And it was like such a huge moment. And I went home. I
love
told
just the
everybody in
silence.
my life. And anytime anybody has ever came for you, Jillian, and tried to drag you, Jillian,
Nope.
and say, oh, she's hard to work with. She's a bitch. She's crazy. She's this shit. And I'm like, let me tell you my fat story. When I was a nobody.
Yeah.
Before this YouTube took off, Jillian. Let me tell you this. And then I tell them, and they're like, fuck, that's everything. And I'm like, I know.
I know.
Aw,
So when you came on the
thank
show,
you.
I just was so excited. Because
Oh,
it's very full
thank
circle for me.
you. That's cute. Okay.
And now you're here. And
I love just like the image of just like shoulders on your fat tits and like, it's okay, sweetheart. And,
And
just
then
like
she
bring
grabs
it
me.
in.
She's like, listen.
Like this bitch needs a
She's
hug.
like, as a fellow woman. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not. No, I was kidding.
No, I knew you. Come on.
No, it was really
That's
sweet.
so cute.
It was
I
okay.
must have known. That comes from. I've told this story before, but like years ago when I was 27 and I was the original version of emo, like the Morrissey kind of emo.
Right.
I had fallen in love with Tori Amos.
Uh-huh.
And I finally got to meet her when I was much older. And when I finally did, I walked in the room and had just a complete meltdown, right? And she kind of gave me that moment.
The same.
And
like,
so
I
when
get you,
people
girl.
have those moments, I try to give back to like, I get it. I'm with you. I appreciate the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I wasn't an asshole sometimes.
No, you were great.
That's
Do you have
great.
any asshole stories? Do you remember? Because I've had a couple moments where I've been an asshole and then I remember it.
You know what?
forever.
In truth, I really am never an asshole until somebody starts with me. So like if you start with me, there was like this great meme the other day and it said something like, you know, I'm super great until you're a bitch with me and don't do it because I do it better.
Right.
So
That's
if
it.
if you cross that line with me, I don't start fights, but I will finish them.
Totally. Have you ever been in a fist fight or like a
When I
physical
was
fight?
a kid, I was at a party once. I was at a party and some drunk guy was being really inappropriate with a friend and I knocked that fucker right out.
Yeah.
It was before though, before I was suable, I had nothing.
Right.
You know, now
Right.
I'm like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
no.
because you lose everything now at this point. So you
right.
kind of don't, you're like, But yeah.
Spitting is a crime?
Yeah,
If someone can be like, it got in my eye. That's probably what happened to your mom. She probably spit in her eye or something. Took her to the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah. So now you don't, now when you're like very suable, you kind of, you chill a bit. You're
wait.
way more laid back.
I have 500,000 questions.
Oh, good.
First,
Yeah.
I want to start with, what are you drinking right now?
Okay, so it's a cold brew coffee.
Oh, that's
Damn it, I thought it was Diet Coke and I got all excited because I'm like,
never.
No,
Not
right.
ever.
because I thought you were going to be like, listen,
liquid
Shane,
poison.
you're like, it's all a scam, Shane.
Like,
Diet Coke is great
sprinkle
for
it
you.
up.
You should drink it.
Yeah, no, no. I can tell you a great story about how I got called into Coca-Cola and given a talk.
Oh, God.
What do you mean?
Like many years ago, we got a phone call and my business partner and I went in and they were like, surely you can appreciate. I was younger and didn't understand that they employed the entire state of Georgia. And to kind of, I had that very idealistic kind of attitude that you have when you're much younger than I am now.
Girl, you look good.
Oh, bless
You
bless
look
your
15,
soul.
maybe 16.
Yeah, I love you.
16.
Going back to Taft
maybe
days.
16. But basically, they were like, surely you can appreciate that there's room for, everything in a healthy lifestyle in moderation. And I was like, how much heroin would you let your kid do? Is that a picture of your son on the desk table? We walked out of there, and my poor business partner was like, let's not handle things like this in the future. There's a way to handle things. They employ the entire state of Georgia. And now I understand that, like, if you do want to make the world better, you do have to work with those companies and sort of like with the baby steps of like, let's take, the artificial sweeteners out and can we do stevia? Like you kind of got to play. There's a lot of game planning.
The answer is no. Stevia's awful. It tastes like shit.
No, that's not true. You're not working with the proper food scientists. If you work with the proper food scientists, I could show you many stevia products now that would change your opinion on it. I swear to God. But it is a matter of like, it's fascinating because I have literally worked with all these different guys on all these different products to try to like, how can you make this color of blue without it, causing you to grow a third nipple?
Right.
And so there are ways.
So interesting, though. Like the food that we eat,
it would bore the snot out of you.
No,
but
I'm all about it.
Do you have products like that? I feel like what's that girl who has like Skinny Girl, whatever cocktail?
Oh, what's her face?
You should come up with some shit like Skinny Girl soda.
I invest in companies. So, for example, I invested in like Lucky Jack, which is a cold brew company, but it's all organic, clean. I invested in Aqua Hydrate, which is an alkaline water. I invested in...
I hear that's good for you.
I invested in Thrive Market, which is an online market that delivers healthy products to your door to solve...
Oh, I need that too. Girl, I'm trying to change my life right now.
I do things like that. I'll look for better for you companies and then put money in.
You know what?
Then I don't owe anyone anything. I don't take money.
And then you can't be suable because your name's not on the product.
You know what you need to help me with?
Smart.
I keep ruining businesses. Let me explain.
Oh.
So
better run, girl. There's the door.
I was doing I was doing like a delivery food service thing last year, and it was great. And I loved it. And I was like losing weight, and I was feeling great. I'm like, this is fucking everything, killing it. And then and then I go out on the weekend, I drink too much, and I'm like, it's fine. I have my delivery food tomorrow. I'll start fresh. So I have burrito. I'm like, it's fine. I'll start my delivery food tomorrow. I'll start fresh. So I have chips. Then I wake up in the morning, go outside. Where's my delivery food? And there's a note. And the note says, hi, we here at Freshology are bankrupt and out of business. And I'm like, what? So then I'm like, okay, that's fine. So then I start something else called my Fresh Foods.
They were too expensive. Yeah. They were a really good program, but they were like $50 a day.
Oh, you know about that?
Oh, really?
I was working with them for a little while, and I was like, you know what? I'm not your audience because my audience doesn't have this kind of money.
Right.
It was too much money.
Well, so then I went to my Fit Foods, which was right down the street from me. And I'm like, this is even fucking better. They have tacos. Like, help me God. I'm going there every day. I'm losing weight. I'm feeling great. Then I fuck up my leg. I'm gimping up. I'm waddling up to get my tacos with my cane. It's not more dramatic.
I'll bedazzle your cane for you.
And then there's a sign on the door. And it says, sorry, girl, Fresh Foods or whatever, Fit Foods is out of business. And I was like... everything I touch dies. It's like the alchemist. So now I'm fucked. I'm like, now I'm meal prepping on my own, and I'm like,
there's like a bunch of those. There's like the Blue Apron.
They're all going out of business,
Chef, because they're expensive.
Yeah.
But I think there's Blue Apron, there's Chef, there's several. There's Sunfair. Just a good one.
I'm looking at that. Yeah. I literally was talking to my mom about this the other day, how I need to do that. Because I eat like Hot Pockets and like cup of noodles and like sandwiches.
Ooh. Come on.
No, legit. Wait. It's horrible. It's horrible.
No.
We'll get into your
I know. Okay.
No.
This isn't about me.
Wait.
No.
I have so many questions about The Biggest Loser, and you're probably not allowed to answer a lot. So
I do, like, it's tough. It is tough to answer because there are like NDAs and things of that nature. I mean, I do my best to try to answer it, but...
We have a sound effect, so if you can't answer it...
Hello.
Jess was recently on The Voice, so I was asking her questions, and she had to.
I was like, I'll too have a contract with a lot of things I don't think I'm allowed to talk about, so we're just gonna press that button right here.
Yeah.
Okay. So Biggest Loser.
Yes.
How often were you actually? Because it's a camp, right? It's like an actual camp, or no?
It was like a ranch with like a house that they.
Did you have to live there?
We didn't. The trainers didn't live there. The contestants lived.
So
there.
did you leave home every night?
We would leave there and go home every night and come in the
morning. How far was that?
It depended which season and where I was during that season. So like there was one season when I lived in the city, and the ranch was in Camarillo, and that was a nightmare. Oh. And then and in the last several seasons, it was at a place called King Gillette Ranch in Malibu, and I lived in Malibu, so it was easy. So it just depended on the season and where I was at the time and where the ranch was at the time.
How long did you do that show?
Off and on for 10 years.
Damn.
Maybe, off and on.
Did you ever have a moment of like, because that show is such an interesting thing, because there are a lot of people that are like, oh, this is wrong, they're losing way too fast, whatever. But
that wasn't the issue.
But on my end, I worked at Jenny Craig for years. Another long story. And I would have clients that would lose.
I have stock in Jenny Craig.
What, you do?
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
I would have clients that could lose 20 pounds in a week, because when you're at a certain size, like I lost 20 pounds my first week, you just lose a lot of weight because it's a lot of water weight, it's weight fast. It does get to a point where, you know, I mean, they were probably doing some crazy stuff to lose weight because there's like money involved and they're trying to win money and shit.
Yes.
So wait, did you have, I didn't even know, by the way, this is not a podcast where I'm going to like try to get juice or whatever.
I'm an
like,
open book.
I didn't know, did you actually, you had like issues or with it?
With,
you made a face. Like you had
with the show.
Yeah.
You know what? Look, it's such a difficult model, that show. I'm grateful, right? Because it puts me here with you. So there's a great quote that I use to describe it. It's like, that which nourishes me also destroys me. So there were parts about it that were awesome.
Cup of noodles.
They gave
It's exactly what I thought.
Very much
I was just like Hot Pockets.
Yeah.
Hot Pockets.
It's kind of like Diet Coke, right? And there were certain things about it that were great. And then there were certain things about it that were not great and that I couldn't control. And I wasn't a producer on the show. And not only was I not a producer on the show, I was always at odds with the show.
Right.
So there was the Biggest Loser. Oh, we're creating a Biggest Loser brand. And then there was the Jillian Michaels brand. And then there was me as a person and that whole corporate aspect of that show. And I couldn't control it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's just not an ideal scenario to take individuals who are quite literally in a suicidal spiral. Because when you're 400 and 500 pounds, you're committing suicide with food.
Yeah.
And you got to try to help them on a ticking clock. So they can go home in a week, they can go home in 2 weeks. And losing weight is very simple. It is very simple. Eat less, move more, use common sense with your food choices. But it's extremely difficult.
Yeah. And it's mental.
And that's exactly why it's difficult.
Was there a therapist on that show? I don't remember.
No. And that's why it's so difficult. So when you take an individual who is in this kind of position.
Vulnerable state.
True. And then they go home to the exact same dysfunctional environment.
Yeah.
And they haven't had time to really understand, like, oh, wow, this is why I'm doing this. And this is what it affords me. And this is what it's going to cost me to give it up, like emotionally and psychologically. Yeah. So it's difficult. And to this day, I still work with several of those contestants who are close friends. Mm-hmm. Some I don't talk to ever.
Yeah.
It's just tough, man. It's an ongoing thing that they'll be dealing with for the rest of their lives.
Well, that's another thing too, because like, I can't imagine losing that much weight that fast and then going back to not having, I remember at one of my gyms I went to, I saw a Biggest Loser contestant. I fangirled and I freaked out. And I talked to him. I don't remember his name. I talked to him for like a second and I was like, is it hard? And he's like, it's fucking like awful. Like, because I have a job. I can't just like work out for 10 hours a day. Like I have a job now. And I'm like,
they don't need to work out for 10 hours a day though. And they know that. So for example, okay, so there's a contestant who's a friend of mine named Shay. She was on season 8. She was one of the biggest contestants we ever had.
Okay. Biggest, wait.
Like size-wise or like popular?
Size. Okay. Very popular.
Right, okay.
Size-wise.
Right.
And so she, when this whole, they all put their weight back on and it destroyed my metabolism. So, she had called me and I was like, stop it. That's bullshit.
Wait, so she agreed with that? Or did
she was part of this study.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, Shay, can you tell me you're eating 2,000 calories a day? She's like, no. Can you tell me you're moving 4 times a week for half an hour? She's like, no. I was like, then stop.
Yeah.
Stop with your bullshit. Stop. Yeah. Just accept it for what it is. The deeper issues never got handled.
Totally.
Right.
And that's the truth. And so
that's how you make change in any part of your life.
Very slowly, we started, I was like, I'm going to make this really simple for you. You're going to eat 2,000 calories a day. You're going to walk 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes at night. And so that was I don't know, whenever that came out, 7 months ago or something. And she's lost 80 pounds.
Right.
So, and I, and she's on Instagram. You can follow her. It's like @BLShay. And every day we go back and forth. We text every day back and forth. So it's just an ongoing.
Right.
Because.
Is that show still on?
I don't know.
I think so.
I don't think so.
Celebrity now, I think they changed.
By the way.
No, I don't think so. I think that's Apprentice.
I saw Celebrity Biggest Loser went to, oh, never mind. This is me. And it sounds like I'm making fun of him.
I think that's a Celebrity was that,
Ruben Studdard.
Ruben Studdard.
They had something.
That was my last season.
I know. And then I saw him at the Cheesecake Factory as the show was, and I was like, girl. I was like, me too, though.
Like,
me too, though.
Ruben.
I get it.
It's just, it's
especially a celebrity.
It's much deeper.
That's harder because there's so many more issues.
Yeah.
And they can't even talk about a lot of the issues.
No, I know.
That's so interesting. Wait, so your relationship with that, it's so interesting because I feel like it must be hard for you because you actually do give a shit about people and you can tell. And you can tell when people on TV don't. Like, you can tell when they're just there for the check. You actually care. So, like, that must be hard. That then, especially when they have to leave after like a week.
Yeah.
And then it's like, bye, Caitlin. And she's like, bye.
It was
like, fuck.
It was frustrating. And you would work with, and I think there's a misconception. Look, when you're put in a room with a group of people, some of them you don't like.
Right.
Some of them don't like you. There are people I've never spoken to again.
Yeah.
Right.
With that said, people will, there are some that I'm dear friends with. I talk to all the time. Whether it's, Danny Allen or Shay or Pete Thomas, like, it doesn't matter the season. So there are some of them that you just connect with and that you will constantly stay in touch with. And there are some of them that you never got along with. And there are some you lose touch with.
Have fun getting fat.
But it's...
No, I was kidding.
I would always say this. I'd say, listen, here's the hard part is that I'm out living my life, right? You come in here, you do your thing, you go home, and then my life continues to be crazy and I continue to work with other people. And unless you wave the white flag, like, I don't know you're in trouble.
Yeah.
If you're not the squeaky wheel, like, I'm not going to pay attention because I only have so much attention to pay.
Right.
And so the ones that stayed in touch with me continued to do well because they would say, like, hey, I had this happen. I fell off the wagon. I'm going through that. I'm going through this. And they've continued to do well.
And that's amazing that you continue that relationship and not get paid for it, unless are you getting paid to respond to
better
people?
be getting paid for this shit.
No, because once the show's over, but meaning like, 10 years later, you're still talking to somebody.
It's
like,
$10 a text.
Do that,
$20 a text.
Yeah,
right.
What should I eat today? That's
your
gonna be
advice
$20.
is good advice. Like, you're good at what you do. You're professional. But the fact that you do that free of charge, and like so many other people don't do that these days, I find everybody's in it to make a buck, no matter what.
It depends. I make bucks.
Well, of course.
So like I look at my life and I'm like, okay, there's certain things that make me money. And when I look at those things, I go, okay, is it something I'm passionate about? Is it something that can be profitable? Is it something that has the quan? Like, can it make the world a better place? Is it more affordable, more accessible? Is it a better for you solution? Fantastic. Then I do it.
Sign me up.
Then there are other things I do just because I love to do it.
Right.
So like with this Shay, for example, like, this is a person I care about. And this is someone that I'm always gonna, like a friend. She's my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So of course I'm gonna, hey mama, we're gonna work on it. And that's just because I loved that part of what I do. So you have things you do for love and things you do for money, and hopefully sometimes love and money cross.
Right.
Girl, you'll mouth to God's ears.
You'll find
one
love,
of these
Jess.
days.
You'll find love.
I'm just trying to find that money. Fuck love. I'm trying to get paid.
Atta girl.
What made
Atta girl.
That's
So
right.
you did The Biggest Loser, and then were you on it the whole time, or you just
No,
said
off and on.
Off and on.
Off and on. Yeah, off and on.
It's too much. I can't even imagine.
It was just always, it was always a fight. It was a constant fight. And I didn't have any say. So it would just always
Are you allowed
fighting.
did you start like your own show or your own thing?
We tried to do this show called Losing It, where I would move in with families. And I think it was a little too real.
Ooh.
It was a little too hard to watch. And then we did, I was on The Doctors for a little while. And then we did a workout business show and then a reality show. And the reality show was like right on the bubble. And I actually loved doing that. People have these horror stories about it. I loved it because I wanted to say, like, look, here's a biracial family, a same-sex couple. And to me, it was like a real life modern family. But then the network and I had a great time with E, actually. They treated me great, but they were like, we really kind of needed to be a little more E. can you train celebrities? And I was like, I don't. Like, that's not
the point of this here show.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know. I don't understand. I'm not getting it. And they're like it's really working with Tyler Henry. And I was like, yeah, but
you're not a psychic.
Yeah. And we just kind of, I was like, and so it didn't work out, which was a shame. That one broke my heart because I actually had a ton of fun doing it. And I thought it was honest and authentic. And
I just got a vision.
Tell me, what is it?
He's psychic like that.
I have these psychic moments.
He does.
Tyler Henry, who? Okay.
I'm super pissed at that kid though, because he told me the Trump thing would never happen, and I have never forgiven him.
Oh shit!
I have not forgiven him. I ran into his boyfriend, and I was like, I am furious with both of you.
You liars!
He's like, I didn't see it coming.
Yeah. Tyler was like, nobody could have known. I'm like, you should have known. I don't care if you talk to every dead relative I ever had, including my chihuahua.
Yeah.
I am never forgiving you for this. But anyway, what was the psychic flash?
Okay, here's my psychic moment, right?
Go.
Okay, so all that shit. Listen, I love TV. I love reality. I get it. 600-Pound Life, my favorite show. But it's over. It's old news. Nobody gives a fuck anymore.
It is old news.
So here's my thought.
Go.
My thought is right now, the biggest shit right now that has the most money, that is putting the most money into things, is YouTube Red. I've been afraid to do a YouTube Red show because like there's a weird thing with YouTubers doing it because you have to pay for it. The audience
And your audience
weird, whatever.
is used to getting it for free.
But YouTube Red they have so much fucking money and they're putting so much money into shows and billboards and this and that, whatever. My thought is you need to start a show where you help young people lose weight and also big YouTubers lose weight, because that would be interesting, and put on YouTube Red, and that would help so many young people, and that's the next generation of consumers. Bitch.
Yeah, and that's where helping choices start, is with the younger audience.
YouTube audience is, okay, so here's the thing. YouTube only wants really young people on YouTube Red, I think.
No, that's not true.
I think so.
No, Prank Academy they're both like 35, I think. Rhett and Link, they're both like 42.
And if you're helping YouTube the younger people, maybe that's.
And if the poster is
let's do it together then.
Yeah, if your poster is you with your guns out and me with like
your body out,
done and done. It would take over. You get me, you get Trisha Paytas, who's like a big YouTuber who's always talking about her weight. Oh my God, it would be so much drama because then you can get into our backstories and why.
Here's the thing though, the kids don't pay for anything nowadays. Like content is tough to sell. Because is a kid that watches YouTube gonna pay for YouTube Red?
It is, well, supposedly a lot of them have. I don't know. I haven't seen the numbers. But like my friend Gigi just put out a documentary and like all these things, which is incredible. You guys.
I've been seeing those billboards everywhere.
She's trans and she did this documentary that some like fucking Academy Award winning person directed it.
She's like in a pool.
Incredible.
On her billboard.
Yeah, and so
I'm like, don't
supposedly it's doing really well, but I don't know what that actually means as far as numbers.
Because YouTube, like that's the thing. Kids today don't really like.
I know.
I mean, because I'm surrounded by youngsters like yourself. I have a little brother who's 27. My little sister's 22. My assistant's 27. And it's like, they're like, they piece together their world. It's fascinating. Right. It's like, I borrow a friend's Netflix account and my parents' HBO thing. And then I watch YouTube and then I Pirate Bay some of this. And then I'm like, Jesus, you seriously will not pay for a cable subscription with 3 roommates that you have, which is 20 something dollars. No.
I got one of them free antennas.
Yes.
Plug that shit right back in the back of the TV.
And the kids, like, they will spend so much time it's a different, it fascinates me. It does. And I'm like, okay, my brother, they don't pay for it.
My hidden agenda really is just for you to work out with me. That's my hidden agenda.
Do that anyway.
But we'll make that happen. No, I do. Actually, you know what? This is a big question that nobody else cares about except for me. And I talk about like way too much on this podcast because I'm interested by it. But I am actually very curious about what you think about.
Yeah.
So yes, I did lose 200 pounds when I was.
God, honey, wow! They told me that. I couldn't believe it.
Well, it is like, and I'm sure you see this all the time, but it almost is like, it's like my body wants to be fat, and I yo-yo that 10 pounds up and down. Right now, currently up.
Yeah.
Literally for 10 years since I was 18. So like, I haven't gained my weight back, so I'm happy. But it is so frustrating because I can't have a normal cheat day, because a normal cheat day, I gain weight, and I really do. And I don't know how.
I don't believe in cheat days, though.
Right.
And I've been very clear about that. So, and here's why. okay, think of it like this. Let's say all week long you're having air souffle, a bit of dust, a stem of broccoli, and boiled chicken for dinner, right? Then on Sunday, it's like your cheat day, and you're like a wild bear coming out of hibernation. It's like, and psychologically, it doesn't work. Biochemically, it doesn't work. So what I like to do is say, okay, honey, I'm going to put you in this range of calories. And people love to just shit all over the calorie thing. And stop.
Give it to me.
It's math. Calories are units of energy. Fat is stored energy. If you consume more calories than you burn in a day, I don't give a shit how healthy those calories are. They will be stored as fat. So here's your calorie allowance.
Okay.
This is your burn. This is what you eat. And then I would say within this calorie allowance, try to follow the 80-20 rule, right? Try to say, all right, 20% is going to be whatever I want.
I'm like taking
80% is going to be healthier. But even if you did the entire calorie allowance, hopefully it's not chemicals, right? We ideally want
like
chemical free. Like diet soda.
Okay.
Oops.
So
calorie
see, you're not in the Sue range yet. You're getting there. And then you'll be you'll start being like, she's speaking cryptically, doing sign language.
There you go.
God, but...
Oh, no name brands.
So,
now I get it.
Right.
Okay, I was like, why are we speaking cryptically?
So the bottom line is, if you just watch the calories and you work treat foods into that calorie allowance, that works way better than like Sunday eating 6,000 calories and the rest of it. It's just... It's rough on your head. It's rough on the body.
Well, what do you think about like mental? Because here's my other problem too, is like, I lost all the weight and of course I had the extra skin. So then I became bulimic because I kept thinking, well, maybe if I lose more weight, the skin will go away. It didn't go away. Then I had the skin taken off in the surgery and then I gained 30 pounds after that because I couldn't move. And then I'm like, then I became anorexic. Like I've had this crazy fucking history. So, and I've went through like 5 different therapists and I don't,
5 different therapists?
So many.
Why so many?
Because I think I start going because I'm like, I need to deal with like my eating stuff.
You do?
But then they realize how much other like family stuff I have going. And then that takes over. And then I think I keep like I don't really talk about the eating stuff. And then once I do, it's like I'm uncomfortable because I just told them everything about my life. And then
you quit.
And then I quit. And then I find another one. So, but for me...
Then you got to start all over
again. See, that's the problem. Like my mom is an incredible, she's a psychoanalyst, PhD. Unbelievable at her job. And, they are careful with people because if it's too much too soon, people quit. And that's one of the things with Biggest Losers, that there was no choice. You had, because they would go home. So you would try to get it all out, and they would hate you for it and not be ready for it. And it was such a double-edged sword. But the right therapist will kind of deal with you incrementally and they'll push you a little.
Right.
See where you are, push you a little, see where you are. But it is about that stuff. That is why you have this relationship with food. So Dr. Phil once said this, and I remember thinking he was such an asshole, right? And he said, people are fat because they want to be fat. Do you think that's true or false?
I think people are fat because they want to be fat. I think that's true.
It is true. And
because it's a big security blanket and
well, it's going to afford you something. So people don't engage in a destructive behavior, whether it's spending too much, drinking too much, dating the wrong people, eating too much because they're dumb or they're lazy or they're stupid or they're weak. They do it because it's affording them something. And at one time or another, that destructive habit was their psychological survival. And that's what that is for you, honey. And that's why you have such a... So letting it go at one time or another, your relationship with food was instrumental in you surviving whatever it is in your family, your background that you were going through. And that's why people
gain
drugs.
That's why I did all the drugs.
It does not work either. Then you won't be too fat to get high.
Right.
I mean,
that's really interesting. That psychological survivor. That was a really interesting term. I've never heard it that way, but I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense.
It protects you at very difficult times in your life.
That's why I drink Pinot Grigio every day.
Girl, hello. Mommy's little helper.
Yeah, what do you do? Because I feel like when I talk to my trainer about this, and I'm just like, do you like eat a burger? Like, how do you deal with stuff? So like your brand is like, you have to be fit, you have to be this, you have to. Is it hard to keep up, or are you just so used to it? Do you use something else? Do you like work too much, or like what's your thing?
My thing is in my addiction.
Yeah, or like your vice, or like your.
Or do you have one?
Okay.
Don't tell me it's broccoli.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I love swearing and I love coffee.
Yes.
So there's that.
Me too.
As you get older, though, it's really interesting. Like when it comes to alcohol, drugs, the older you get, you're like, no. Like it was my birthday a little while ago. All my friends were out. It was a bit ago, but they were all out and they're like trying to buy me drinks. And I was like, I can't do you don't want to feel that way the next day. You can't, you have kids, you're older, it hits you harder. So that stuff, you genuinely outgrow it. You genuinely outgrow it. Which is a bummer. Then you really know you're old.
I know. I've been doing that too.
You're like, oh, damn it.
It's 5:30 and
no longer fun and you feel like crap. It's a real shame. But I think that what I will turn to is just true self-indulgence, but in a life-affirming way. So for example, instead of like eating something and saying, I deserve it, it's my treat.
Right.
I will ride my horse. I will binge on a show I want to binge on. I will ride my horse, like literally my horse, not some weirdo sex thing.
I know. I'm like,
literally have a horse.
Like,
go ride the horse. I love animals. I have an animal addiction. I truly do. I admit it. I have a sickness. And as a kid, if you love animals, you got that fantasy of like, I'm going to live on a ranch.
Right, yes.
And have a bunch. Well, I do, and have like 1,000 animals. So I always end up with another animal whenever.
Do you like get them up the street?
I have like our most.
Will you cause car accidents and stuff trying to get a puppy?
We have a turtle that came out of an intersection.
Oh, what'd you name him?
Elmer. Heidi named him. He lives in our koi ponds.
I love that.
We're getting a sulcata tortoise that someone's giving up that I just tore up my entire backyard for because like they can't eat X, Y, or Z. Right. We got a rabbit named Phil that's 3 years old with a foot sore and a dental infection.
Your misfit toys.
I definitely like.
You don't have time to eat. You're dealing with that.
Yeah.
You're like a vet.
I deal with, I play with the kids. Kids are a massive distraction.
How old are your kids?
4 and 6.
Oh, those are great ages.
So wait, if I have a kid, I'll lose weight?
There you go, because you never sit down.
But they distract you. They definitely distract you. But what I would say is you need to really look for things that you love where you can indulge yourself, like a spa day.
Okay.
Oh, no, he can't be touched or massaged or anything. He hates it. There's nothing that you're going to find that's going to make him happy, though.
But what do you love?
He likes, like, sad people. Like, you said that before. You're like, if they're sad, I'll fuck them.
I can't.
Like,
I get it.
Very true.
I get it. It can't be destructive, though. You got to, it can be harmless.
Chipotle.
Like a TV binge, right? Like, sometimes I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? Like, if I've had a really horrible day and the kids are at school and I know I have a million things to do, and sometimes I'll just be like, I'm just going to sit here and watch an episode of Narcos.
That's it.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Fuck the world.
Yeah. I did that yesterday
instead of a giant pizza. Like, it's, you know what I mean?
So instead of like eating dinner while I'm watching it, I should just watch, The Boy Whose Head Won't Stop Growing on TLC.
Well, if you love it.
Without food.
You can eat your dinner, but you don't get to eat beyond your dinner as like, I deserve this. I've had a bad day and I'm like, I'll never forget. I was doing Oprah the one time I did Oprah.
Oh my God.
And I'm sitting there and there's me and there's Bob Harper and she's over here and she's drinking a diet soda, right? And Bob, I'm seeing it and I'm like, oh, don't do it. Don't do it. And at the break, he goes, does Dr. Oz know you're drinking that? And I was like, oh, shit. And she looks up from her notes.
Oh my God.
And she goes,
I'm going to come.
It's my treat.
Oh my God.
And I was like,
yeah, she holds everything.
But it was like, I was like, damn. And you could see,
like, don't fuck with me. This is my treat.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And that's how people.
And you were like, I love diet soda Oprah. Yes,
right.
Oprah,
You're like,
Oprah.
Treat. Treat. Coca-Cola.
Yes. I mean, so it's just, it's that like where people get into that with food where it's like, I deserve it.
Yeah. Wait, was he fucking like, did he get murdered after that? What would you?
No.
Did he freak out? What the fuck is wrong with him?
He just pushed the envelope a little too far. I was like, this is not
Oprah.
don't.
Not the queen.
Did you, because if I would have
He pushed it a little too far.
I would have swooped in with it. Oprah, you can do whatever the fuck you want, Oprah. You can step on my neck, Oprah. I don't care. You're the fucking queen, Oprah.
It was just like, oh God.
My God.
So, but in that moment, I was like, okay. And it's that psychology, right? You need to have that, right? Like, it's my treat, but
that
it can't ruin your life. So you got to look for stuff that you can be like, fuck the world, I'm rebelling, it's all about me today. And it whatever it is that you love, get it for yourself. But
sure.
Is that
if it's not hurting your life? Because if you find that it is hurting your life,
then you might want to check it out.
Then you might need to take it easy.
Right.
Yeah. But if you love it, and it's not hurting your life, have a jerk off marathon.
That's it.
Why not? Okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Just not while you're eating food at the same time.
Why
not? Not too much food. That's
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
If one hand's busy and the other one's like, you got a problem.
Right.
You know?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay,
it's
wait.
not ideal.
No.
I have, Dr. Phil. I wrote that down. How often did you work with? I have such a fascination with Dr. Phil, especially right now with this whole Catch Me Outside situation.
Wait, what's that? What happened?
I don't even know. Some young chick running her mouth.
So Dr. Phil did an episode with this young girl who, the audience was laughing, and she's like, all the hoes are laughing. And he goes, what? Is my audience hoes? And she goes, mm-hmm. And then she goes, catch me outside. Catch me outside. How about that? Basically being like, I want to fight your audience, right? So that clip went viral, got 100 million views. She became this big celebrity. She has TMZ following her, and she's quoting herself. She's like, catch me outside. Anyways, so Dr. Phil.
For being a hot mess little teen.
No, I love her.
I know you love her, but enough, queen. Be a good person. Use your words.
She's 12. Okay. So, and we're all telling her you're great, which is bad. Okay.
Right.
So Dr. Phil is on The View, and they're like, what do you think about this girl? And I thought he was going to be it's a sad situation because she was beating up her mom, and now that she's famous, it's kind of weird.
Real class act.
Whatever. She's 12.
She's Jackie O, basically.
And then her mom is kind of crazy too. And then Dr. Phil is just catch me outside. How about that? And I'm like, wait, he's a part of it too. I'm like, is he real? Does he actually care about people? I love Dr. Phil, but I'm like, is he, what? I don't want to, well, wait.
No, here's what I can tell you about Dr. Phil. I can tell you that he is brilliant.
I mean, yeah.
So
he's a doctor.
Well,
I'm kidding. I know, he's not a real doctor.
I think he
is.
Eventually went back to school.
I think he is.
He might be a dentist.
I think he is a psychotherapist. I think he is. He is a brilliant man. Dr. Phil never did anything shitty to me.
No.
And in fact, he gave me great advice over the course of my career, and it's the finish it fight. So, for example, because people love to sue me, and Dr. Phil was like, don't ever settle. Don't you ever settle. He's like, if you settle a lawsuit, the line at the sue Jillian window gets a lot longer. He's like, you fight those and you make sure they have skin in the game. I never had any issues with him. He was always very lovely with me, very straightforward, gave me great business advice. So don't have a bad word to say about him. I mean, he's a businessman. Yeah. So, there's that. And he's a very good businessman. But I don't think he's not a malicious person. No. You know what I mean? So I can just tell you that I never had a bad experience with him. Personally.
Dr. Phil.
His show is so fascinating. I hadn't watched it in a long time, and then I stumbled on some clips on
still
YouTube.
On?
Oh my god!
Yeah,
and
really?
the clips are crazy.
Good
It's like I poured acid in my eyes because I hated my body. I'm like, oh my god, this is the craziest show ever.
Yeah, I mean,
it's real interesting.
Yeah, because daytime that landscape is dead. It's
Really?
a wasteland, except for Dr. Phil, Ellen, and Wendy Williams.
I get down on Maury every now and then.
How you doing? Wait, have you been on Wendy?
Oh, I love her.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
He's obsessed with her.
Okay.
You are?
Okay, let's take a second.
You haven't been
I'm
on
gonna
her
hyperventilate.
show?
No, I've tried.
She won't have it. But the love that you have for her is real.
She's a really just very, very real, very cool, down to earth, gracious. You can tell, there are some people that you meet and you're like, oh my God, you are a monstrous bitch.
Yeah.
Right.
And then there are other people you meet and they're just lovely, gracious, secure with themselves. And she's one of those people.
Oh yeah. Don't you have some sort of app out? Speaking of that.
Segue.
Nice little segue on that one, huh?
Well.
Speaking of changing who you are.
Yeah. Okay. We, yes. Yes. So we have put out an app that is on Android and iOS, and it's very cool. It's like if you ever wanted me to be your personal trainer.
I do. Done. Especially after today and meeting you and seeing how fabulous you are.
Thank you, buddy. It basically works as follows. So I created a bunch of different programs, but there's 550 exercises. So there's also a workout generator. So you can show up and pick a program like, oh, I want to do the 30-day program, the 60-day program, the 90-day program, the beginner program, the running program. Or you can say, Jillian, I have 30 minutes. I'm an intermediate level athlete and I want to do lower body today or total body or just cardio. And what happens is out of all those moves, it populates so that every time it's totally different. And then you can say, that was too hard and I can modify it. That was too easy, change the move, preview the workout, swap out the moves you don't like.
Smart.
Then there's a vegan meal plan, an omnivore meal plan, a paleo meal plan that's gluten-free. So you can pick your meal plans. And it's $3.99 a month right now as an introductory price, but it's going to become, it's going to like year, quarterly, monthly. So it'll be like $9.99, $6.99.
You can't put a price on
like
health,
that.
people.
Right. Well, we're trying to make it like, I really wanted to leave it at $4.99, which is $1 a week. Right. And it just, you can't sustain it. You can't pay for it because you got to pay Apple 30% and the developers get 20%. Then you got to market the hell out of it. And it's, my business partner was like, lose hand.
Even like, that's cute. You got an app girl, but we ain't got no money left.
Yeah. Like, we gotta. So.
Well, it's a lot cheaper than a fucking nutritionist, and it's a lot cheaper than fucking
Hopefully.
a bunch of weight
We want it to be like a
fresh
total solution, and so we constantly add new recipes, blogs,
and that's what I like about it. Because if it were to just be stagnant and be like, "That's cute," I've done this kettlebell workout 15 times in a row. Now I'm over it. Like I like that you can swap it out and switch it up and get what you want.
Just Jillian Michales in the App Store. Just Google my name.
Guys, go download the Jillian Michales app.
Do it.
I actually will. I literally will because I need it.
That winter got me good this year. Too many treats.
Well, guys, this has been very fascinating. I hope you don't feel like we talked about a lot of stuff that like I was not expecting. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for coming.
No, thank you for having me.
And this is an incredible moment in my life. Can't believe you're here. This is very exciting. I'm going to tell everybody. And guys, hope you enjoyed the show. We enjoyed it. Bye.
Peace.